designers, we are in our very last video lesson in this first unit on really digging into Illustrator, where you're just showing me some of the basic understanding and knowledge. And we're going to focus on stencils. And there's going to be more to come in class. We're going to talk a lot about stencils, about the history of stencils, why artists use them. But what you need to know today is I'm going to teach you how to take an image from the internet and trace it. And we're going to have Illustrator do that. So today's video lesson is about image tracing, but I want to show you where we're going at with this stencil that we're creating. So we're going to use our digital stencil to create a digital poster collage featuring the likeness of a famous person along with a quote from them. All right, so we're going to do that. So we're going to create a stencil. We're going to use it as a clipping mask and to apply all the stuff that we've been learning. Also, then we're going to take this same stencil that we create, this digital stencil, and we're going to run it and print it through the laser cutter, which will give us a hard stencil that we can then use to do spray paint t-shirts. And then we're going to do a mixed media collage with those as well. And we're going to talk a lot about positive versus negative when I introduce the project formally. But today is just about how do you image trace something. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to start by opening up Illustrator. And to open up this document here, the template, you're going to go to File, Open. Okay, so follow along with me. File, Open. You're going to go to this PC, and you're going to go to that Courses folder, Courses, Art, Print Shop, and Templates. And it's called Quote Poster, so it's all alphabetical, so scroll down to the Q's right there. So Quote Poster Template. Once you open it, you're going to go to File, Save As. You're saving it on the computer. Again, you're going to navigate back to this PC. You're going to go into your folder. You should have a print shop folder, and I just want you to call it Image Trace, okay? Because we're just practicing this for today, and then you're going to click Save once you're in that, but I'm not going to save because I don't need to save this. Okay. So we're trying to get to a very simple, clean, positive, negative, okay? Positive, negative meaning you've got the positive shape of the person, and then you have the negative, which is the area around it, but it's in a black and white version because, again, we're going to be creating a stencil. All right, so here's how we do this. Step number one, once you have your document open, is you will go to the internet, and you're going to pick a famous person, and you are going to Google that person's name plus the words black and white photo. This is really going to help for the image tracing because you need a really high contrast photo, and when you're dealing with color images, sometimes there's not enough contrast of the value. All right, so you're going to scroll through and you're going to find one that you're like, ooh, it's got really good black versus white. So in other words, we want something to get as close to where did I just go? This as possible in a photo. Do you see how it's like really, really stark black and white? So we're going to look for something like that, even though it's in photo format. And I'm like, that one kind of looks like it's probably going to image trace pretty well, because what we're doing is we're having the computer do the work for us because we don't know enough about Illustrator yet to be able to do an illustration from scratch. So once you find an image you think will work, you're going to right click on it and you're going to go to Copy Image. Okay, so we've copied it. Now we're going to go back to Illustrator, and we're going to go to Edit, Paste. Now it's probably going to come up bigger than the template that we want. You do need to start by resizing it, so you're going to hold down the Shift. Very important you hold down Shift. As you drag those corners, I'm holding down the Shift key because that's going to constrain my portion so I don't accidentally distort her, okay? And we want it to fit on this image window. All right, so stop the video, go find a photo, copy and paste it into this document. All right, next up, super simple. You click on the photo. You're going to go to Object, Image Trace, Make and Expand. Make and expand, that's important. This is probably going to pop up. Just click OK to it. And you're going to wait, and you're going to see if it does a good job. And in this case, like, it does an okay job. There's lots of little detail in here. Okay, but we're going to say we think it did a good enough job. I'm going to show you now how to clean this up. All right, because this to me has a lot of little extra. We don't want it. We want it as, like I said, we want it as close to something like this as possible, where it's okay to have some detail, but not a lot of little teeny tiny lines and things. All right, so to clean this up now, I'm going to right click on it and ungroup it. And then I'm going to click on one of the white shapes because believe it or not, it's not black and, or it's not just black, it's black and white. So sometimes I move it out into the artboard space just so I can see it a little bit better. But I'm going to click on one of the white parts of the image. Okay, so if you have an image trace, stop the video, go image trace it, ungroup it. All right, so click on one of the objects, the white objects, and then you're going to go up to select, same, fill and stroke. So it's going to select every other object that's the same fill and stroke, which is white, and then you're going to hit the delete key. Okay, and it should look something like this. All right, and now I'm going to just drag that back over. All right, so let's talk about stencils a little bit. We'll talk more about this when I present the project to you, but to get rid of these little teeny tiny things, the easiest way, I can literally select over them and I can just hit that delete key. Because when we start to get into the t-shirt and when we talk about what kind of stencils will work in the laser cutter and what won't, stuff like this is not going to be great for it. Oops. Control Z is your friend. All right, let's say there's something here. Like I want to get rid of these things on her fingers. I don't really like them. But notice how it's connected. If I hit that delete key, it's deleting everything. I don't want to delete everything. Instead, select that object and you're going to have to do it the old school way. You'll have to grab the eraser tool and you can erase that part of the object. Okay? So if you don't want those things in there. All right? So this is image tracing. It's just that simple. When you're done with this, save it and submit it. But if the first one didn't work well, delete it. Try another one. Oops. And you can do this with as many as you want. So let's try a different one. Let's say, let's try this one, see if that one will be any better. Because it's just trial and error. There's no magic wand on exactly which one will work. You really don't know until you image trace it. I'll leave you with one last little, so object, image trace, make it expand. Ooh, that one worked pretty good, okay. All right, one last thing I might mention is if you can find it on a white background, that's the best. So let me put white and photo, white background. Let's see if I can even filter it down even more. Oh, perfect. So let's try that one. We lost some detail, but you get the general idea. All right, so have some fun. When you're done with this, you are ready to start the project. So you're going to want to think about a famous person that you maybe aspire to be or they're inspirational to you. You will have to put it with a quote. So if I'm going to do a portrait of Taylor Swift, I have to find a quote from Taylor Swift that I can put with it. It does need to be school appropriate. Okay, I think that goes without saying. But otherwise, that's it. You are done. Excellent work.